Morning. I was about to say good afternoon, but it's only afternoon here. Welcome to this webinar about the SCAIME solutions for weighing application in an environment compatible with EcoStruxure Plant and Machine. My name is Christophe Ourdouillet. I'm a business development manager at SCAIME, and together with Olivier Legendre, who is the marketing manager and also product manager for the weighing range. So the purpose is to introduce you as clearly as possible about the systems we can offer for what kind of application and how they fit into an EcoStruxure environment. In the second part of the presentation, we will show you some examples or some case studies, let's say, of successful applications in which we have implemented our weighing system and transmitters. So the first slide is about, well, in a few words, some facts and figures about SCAIME. We are a specialist of weighing solutions since the beginning of the 80s. We are based in Annemasse, France, which is just outside Geneva, but on the French side of the border. We employ about 100 persons there for a turnover, which was at the end of last year 13 million euro, split between 60% of domestic sales and 40% international. We rely on a network of partners and distributors around the world in about 65 countries, to the exception of Germany and China, where we have our own entity. The cooperation between SCAIME and Schneider Electric dates back from the 80s, but it took a special form in 2008 when we joined what was called at that time the CAP partnership. Which was reinforced 2 years ago, I think, with the new partnership. And SCAIME is in this program considered as a master technology partner to Schneider Electric for weighing application. Weighing is the core of our business. We also have some side activity, but let's say today 70% of our turnover of the company is done on weighing application. So our program includes all the elements, all the components of a weighing chain, load cells, of course, mounting kits, so everything that is the mechanical environment of the load cell, and the transmitters and indicators who are going to convert the signal into a data that can be worked out by a data acquisition system, a PLC, etc., etc. The area of expertise of SCAIME in weighing applications, so it covers both plant engineering, so whatever the field of application, food and bev, metal and minerals, chemicals, etc., and machine control. So machine control, it's the integration of load cells and transmitters into an equipment that can be a dosing system or a filling system that will then be installed into the manufacturing process. And for plant engineering, we can intervene directly at the level of tank weighing or belt weighing, for instance. So on the right, you can see those areas of expertise which can be split into static weighing application, like regular platform weighing, or tank, hopper, vessel weighing, and the dynamic weighing application, where you will have belt weighing and loss in weight feeding, so in both cases continuous weighing, or filling by batch and sorting and check weighing. So you can see the sequence of these in what can be a manufacturing process, how you see those different steps in the production. So storage, transfer by on the belt weigher, for instance, mixing, can be loss in weight feeding or batch dosing, packaging, that can be filling, bag filling, drum filling, etc., and end of line check weighing. Every step, we have the possibility to provide a solution that is connected to a PLC with the functionalities that we are going to show you in the following slides. So this one is just to show the hardware, let's say, whatever you have to weigh a conveyor, a tank, a hopper, up to 1,000 ton nominal capacity per load cell. We have a solution, including a load cell and including a specific mounting kit. So of course, you will find much more detailed information about each of the models of load cells and mounting kit on our website with a dedicated data sheet. Weighing solution for EcoStruxure, we have two ranges of transmitters that can be applied and that are compatible with EcoStruxure, and for which the information can be found on exchange.sc.com. On the right first, a specific product, which is the PMESWT weighing module. This one is a co-development between SCAIME and Schneider Electric, specially dedicated to the M580 PLC, and therefore it is applicable to plant process. And on the left hand side, the other range of transmitter or weighing controller, the Init 4 range, which appears in many different versions. We will see that later, and with various dedicated functionalities according to the case, according to the application, and therefore it can be applied for as well for machine and for plant process, and is compatible with many models of PLC in the Schneider Electric range. So let's start with the PMESWT weighing module. It's a single channel weighing controller. It means that it doesn't mean that it can only run one load cell, but one weighing chain. So you can have, as shown on the drawing, several load cells connected to a junction box that goes into the transmitter. From the start, the purpose was to be able to plug this weighing transmitter on the backplane of the M580 and communicate directly with the M580 on the internet, on Ethernet. It can be also plugged on the X80 Rio drop. You have an output port for an optional HMI that is available on standard 2 inputs and 4 outputs. Because of its shared design with Schneider Electric, from the start we had the possibility to access all the parameters and do the calibration by using the FDT DTM technology and accessing via DTM. There is also a TVDA which is available, including function block for EcoStruxure Control Expert, as well as library blocks for Wonderware system platform. Okay. The second possibility is the Init 4. The second range of weighing controller is the Init 4. This is a range that is purely designed, 100% designed by SCAIME. Started by a previous version back in 2007 called Init 3. So it's a continuation of a long-term development. So the difference with the PMESWT is that the Init 4 exists in under different versions. Already in terms of presentation, as you can see, there is a DIN rail version and also a version which can be mounted inside stainless steel housing. And in this stainless steel housing, you can integrate an optional touchscreen, the HMI Init Touch. The configuration of the Init 4 can be done from a PC by using the Init View software directly connected to the Init 4, or via an integrated web server that is standard in each Init 4, or as an option via Bluetooth with what we call the Init app. So that's optional, but allows you to set up the parameters, do the configuration remotely from your smartphone. Sorry. We also have, for the Init 4, some function blocks which have been developed purposely for EcoStruxure Control Expert. So these function blocks allow you to integrate or to set up some interfaces for the main functions, like calibration or like filtering or whatever. And it's open source. Yes. Which means that you are free to use them and modify them with a certain level of flexibility. So here on this slide, you can see basically all the connection, all the specification and how it can integrate with the different objects, let's say, or connectable objects around the Init 4. You obviously have a USB port for the PC connection. You have the optional Bluetooth port if you buy the option for Init app. There is a dedicated RS485 port for the connection with the HMI. IOs, of course, as a standard 2 inputs and 4 outputs, plus some optional input and outputs, as well as an analog output for regulation, especially for the continuous weighing applications. And of course, all the a lot of protocols which are served with Init 4 in different versions. That can be CAN-open, that can be Ethernet IP or Modbus TCP, for instance. So the Init 4, as I said, exists in 5 different versions according to what you want to do with it. It starts with the Init 4T, which is the basic transmitter version that includes the functions which are common to all the versions of Init. If you don't want to use it with a specific software, and then according to the application, you have 4 other versions which include a dedicated software. Init 4D for everything that is dosing and filling. Init 4C for everything that is check weighing or grading. Init 4B for belt weighing. Init 4F for loss in weight feeding. On this rather complicated chart, we try to summarize all the combination possible. Okay, all the combination possible between the versions of Init and what you can connect to it. Not only Init, but also the PMESWT. So what is available, for instance, what is not, connection to HMI, legal metrology, etc., etc. So for the moment, in the EcoStruxure connection, we have function blocks and TVDA with Control Expert. Machine Expert is not available for the moment, but this is something definitely that is going to be developed in the months to come, I suppose. Okay. Now we are going to have a look at various success stories, let's say, or examples of applications where our load cells have been implemented successfully with in a EcoStruxure Schneider Electric environment of different kinds. And we go by families of applications. Okay, so the first is so plant process. So the first example here is a modernization of a brewery belonging to the Heineken group in Congo. That consisted in revamping a TSX Premium architecture into a M580 design architecture. So we have supplied everything, the load cell, the mounting kits, the PMESWT modules. In that case, there were, how many of them? I think it was 9, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so load cells, PMESWT, and HMI connected to M580 for the level control of a series of tanks. The second example is a factory in Peru, in Latin America, where they produce some food for poultry. That was a modernization, but a complete one. That is to say, start from A to Z, everything, including the load cells. 11 systems. So each time a module PMESWT connected to M580. The idea was to turn a quite old factory into something a bit more efficient. So the production capacity has been significantly increased from 5 tons per hour to 40 tons per hour. And the weighing systems were at different steps, not only static weighing, for instance, but also in dosing and mixing application. Another modernization here, this time in Switzerland at the Syngenta factory, so manufacturing herbicides. In that case, the load cells have not been changed, they were still good enough. So the modernization started at the level of the transmitter. So we have used Init 4T in this case, connected to M340 and using Magellis HMI. So plenty of the specific aspect here is it's a potentially explosive atmosphere. So we had to supply as well some Zener barriers to protect the load cells and the junction box. So that is also something we can provide. So in that case, 18 controllers in Init 40, Ethernet, communicating Modbus TCP with the M340. We go back to the food and bev. Bonduelle is a French manufacturer, is the European leader into frozen food, frozen vegetables, more precisely. Is a quite old customer of ours and also of Schneider Electric. In that case, we go into something a bit more specific that you can do with the Init 4, but not with the Init 4B. You can do with Init 4B, but not with the PMESWT. Sorry, it's a continuous weighing application where, in fact, the purpose is to measure and control the flow of the vegetables according to a target that has been set, and maintain the flow at the level of this target. So we'll see on the next slide. There is a video showing the process. So the Init 4B in that case calculates the current flow rate and corrects, if necessary, the speed of the conveyor belt in order to maintain the flow rate according to the target. And if needed, it can also totalize the product weight, the weight of the product passing on the belt over a certain period. So this is something that we have installed 2 or 3 years ago, and that works very, very well.
And our modules manage the PID control. The PID regulator is embedded inside Init 4B.
That's why you have this optional analog output on the B and F version, because it is necessary into the PID control. Okay. Another family of application are the packaging machines, where we are going to see some mixing and continuous dosing applications. The first one is a customer of ours in the south of France called PPI. And this application consisted in dosing 7 different ingredients, each of them coming from a suspended bag. And each of the ingredients go on a belt, and after that is filled into a bag. So we've been using Init 4D to monitor the dosing parameters on each of the hoppers, and communication with the M340 via Modbus TCP.
And the M340 manage the formula.
That's right. So this is obviously a mining and mineral application, as you can see, and very different ingredients, which are those. You can see the load cells on the hoppers there, bending beam load cell. So rather rugged application, but that does the job, mixing different ingredients, gravels and everything. PPI is specialized in powder handling applications, so it does also the same kind of thing with food. Here in this case, the video is not very clear, but it shows an example of loss in weight application. It's also in the mining and mineral. It's lime in this case. So the idea with the Init 4F is to control also the flow of products by regulating controlling and regulating the flow according to a target flow rate. But in this case, instead of being on a belt, it comes from a upper hopper, which is filling into a hopper equipped with load cells, and from that hopper we can regulate the flow that goes after that into a belt or into a bag. We are also using the PID in this case to control the regulation and also to monitor the reloading of the tank. Here now we have the another family of applications, packaging machines with filling and check weighing applications. This one is using Init 4D connected to M340. The purpose of the dosing here is to dose a sauce that will go into fish cans. Actually, it's not let's say, always the same dose of sauce that goes into the can. What the Init 4 can do in this case is to calculate can by can what is the amount of sauce needed according to the weight of the fish, which is never the same in each can. So it goes at a high speed with a 1 gram accuracy. In this case, we are using load cells which are hermetically welded, IP69K, which is a standard that authorizes the cleaning of the load cell with high pressure jet. Another application that tends to be more and more popular where weighing is needed is pick and place. Robot Grader is one of our customers in Sweden. They are manufacturing these pick and place machines for food. And most of the time it's chicken fillets, chicken bits. We start by weighing each fillet on a check weigher. So it's not end of line, it's beginning of line. And the weight of each fillet is calculated by the Init 4C. So it's the transmitter who provides to the PLC the accurate weight. In that case, it's a pack drive LMC that stores the information of each fillet and combines the fillets to put them in a tray in order to reach the more or less always the same target weight per tray. So that's a quite interesting application because not only the environment is complicated, and there again we have to use hermetically sealed load cells with a high protection level, but the demand in terms of speed is quite high. Another application where speed is very important, it's this one is a grader for fruit by one of our customers in France. There again we are using Init 4C, and it is connected in this case to M241. Each fruit is passing on a chain of cups, and the cups are weighed one by one. The weight of the fruit is calculated by the Init 4C and transmitted via CANopen to the M241, and the M241 is going to decide in which on which table, let's say, the fruit is going to be dropped according to its category of weight. So each cup, in order to reach let's say the accuracy and the accuracy needed, the cups are high standard. Let's say they have a very tight tolerance, let's say, on the weight between each of them, so that the weight of the fruit can be calculated with the highest accuracy possible. So you can see here on the video. To give you an example about the speed and the combination between speed and accuracy, in this case, we could reach a rate of 12 fruits per second with an accuracy of 1 gram. So this is let's say a quite regular application of food grading in many countries when you need to sort plenty of different fruits. We have done that with small fruits like this, but also one customer is doing that with melons, for instance. So that can be adapted. Of course, the parameters, and especially the parameters of filtering, which are very important into an Init 4, are varying according to the ratio weight volume, let's say, of the fruit. So there are more applications which can be seen on our website, and beside that, SCAIME is aware of the importance of a technical support to its partners and also to its customers. That's why we have, let's say, 2 engineers whose job is purely dedicated to support the questions from the customers, and especially when it comes to the transmitters, whenever they are the PMESWT or the Init 4. And beside that, on our website, you will find a lot of documentation with user manual, also with video tutorials to explain the basic of the Init 4 calibration and configuration. As I said in the beginnings, in 60 countries around the world, we have a partner. In most of the time, is able to provide a first level of support to our customers there, and they are in frequent connection with our technical team here. So it's a routine that works. It's not a new one, something that we have implemented already some years ago, and that is in constant upgrade.